What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity John. I do this channel mainly for my target audience, which is the African American man. And I think that why my channel gets so much support and so many views is because we discuss things from the other side. And many times when you look at national media, you look at certain literature in America as it revolves relationships, especially in our African American community. What you'll find out is many times it's the man's fault, and that the man is the one that's violent, and the man is the one that behaves a certain way, and the woman is, often the victim and has something to do with it. But I like to look at cases where there's no man involved, because then the man cannot be blamed, all right? And I want to talk about this particular sister by the name of Jennifer Sweeney. Jennifer Sweeney is no doubt what one would consider a psychopath. Nothing less than that. Vindictive, dangerous to society, to anyone around her. And she was with a young lady by the name of Tyrita Julius. Now, Tyrita Julius and her were in a lesbian relationship. Miss Julius had a 15-year-old son or daughter. Okay. And she disappeared in 2016. No one knew what happened to her. No one knew what was going on. All that the family knew was that she disappeared. But because Tyrita Julius wanted to end the relationship, and because of problems that they were having in a relationship, she decided that she wanted to end Mrs. Julius's life by strangulation. This is a sad story, but it doesn't end there, because there's more to it than just that. Not only did she try to strangle her, she tried to get her shot first. Yeah, this is crazy. She was initially shot. She was shot 8 times, crashing into a utility pole. The daughter of Mr. Julius was shot once. Okay? The mother of Julius went missing. However, the body was found at Mr. Andre Harris's home. The lady had been strangled, and Mr. Harris testified against Sweeney. And now Sweeney, who is beyond criminality, in my opinion, I believe should get the death sentence if they have it, because she's the worst person of the worst. But she's entering a plea deal, right? And she's most likely going to be sent to life in prison. But I want to talk about the whole ordeal. This doesn't revolve around men. And a lot of times you see in the African American community, domestic violence, okay, in black relationships can be higher. But there also is some evidence to show that amongst women and women relationships, okay, however you want to call that, that the domestic violence of those relationships is as high as women and men in heterosexual relationships. I want you to listen to that right there, because women and women are female and female, woman to woman, lesbian relationships. There's a certain level of domestic violence that happens. There are no men in these relationships. Let's transpose that, or let's juxtapose it to when you have a man and a woman in a relationship. Do you now believe that women can do the same thing to men? Do you believe that women can also assault men? I mean, we believe that men cause, much harm to women, potentially dangerous to women, we would understand it because men are bigger. Men are stronger. But do we believe in society that some percentage of the time women have taken up violence, arms, for men who are not even in the retaliatory position? Our retaliation. Men who are not vindictive. Men who are just accepting the abuse. Men who have been stalked. It's not just a female thing. And this is what the other side of the story is telling. Men at many times are just as in much danger in relationships with women as they are in gangs. As they are living in highly dangerous neighborhoods. Because see, in this time, there's also people who are indirectly involved. Because sometimes a woman can get someone else to do something to you. It doesn't have to be her. In this case, it was her. But we don't know how or who was shooting the lady the first time. Okay? It's unspeakable. And then not only did she do that, she lied to her. So she shot her and then was looking after her after she shot her. Then strangled her. Hiring people to shoot her and then pretending that she doesn't know and then lying to the family. This is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a lot of plots. This sounds like a damn military coup went bad or something in an African nation. And I just want to prove to guys and the people that are listening, men also suffer in such relationships. It's not only that women are suffering in domestic violence, and that is true. Women are suffering not only at the hands of men, but evidence will show that women are suffering in domestic violence relationships with other women. This is not the norm, or this is not like outside of the norm. This is not an abnormality. This is something that happens quite regularly. Maybe not to the level of murder or anything, but there is a certain evidence that shows that there are a lot of calls that police officers get around the country for women that are in relationships with women, which lets you know that women have the capability at times to do this in relationships with men. And it's not always the man's fault. Is it the man's fault? Many times. Could it be most of the times? It's possible. Is it always his fault all the time? It's impossible. Okay? And we have to start to look at it for what it is. Okay? There are situations where women can be dangerous to the man. There are definitely situations that men can be dangerous to women. And we're seeing it here where the man is not involved. There's no man involved in this outside of the guy that the body was found in. He had nothing to do with the murder. The woman was the one that was plotting her murder. All right? And I just want guys to be safe out here. You never know what you're really dealing with in today's world. You just don't. And things can happen to you. You don't know who you're sleeping with. You don't know what a person's thinking. So just understand, you could be dealing with a person that's a psychopath. You don't know it. So be careful out there. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. Check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.